Randy Saney, North Bend.
Morning, Randy.
I'd like to start by stating that my comments and opinions are my own and in no way reflect the opinions of anyone that I might volunteer for or work for. I have, after my comments, I have a series of questions, and for the purpose of expediting, I'd like to, if it pleases you, just ask the questions, and I'll be happy to repeat them. You ask them once and then repeat them if you need. Commissioner Maine, on July 1 at the Coos Bay Wagon Road meeting, you said that more discussion with the tribe on how the county would factor into any agreement was needed. And then Mr. Perry confirmed that no agreement with the tribe had been reached yet. At the end of that meeting, you, Mr. Maine, were asked if the proposal would go before the citizens, and you said at that time that that would be decided later. At the next meeting, on July 11th, Obone White stated that any agreement has to come before the public for comment. We also heard from a man you yourself, Mr. Maine, refer to as an expert on the Wagon Road land, Mr. Don Gurney. And Mr. Gurney attempted to inform you of some of the hurdles that you would encounter with a transfer of ownership or management to the tribe. And after considerable deliberation, you formed a committee whose only members were Coos County and the Cocoa tribe.
That's not true.
You put together a six-member committee, Cam being the representative from the commissioners.
Yes.
So my questions, it's now come to our attention that Mr. Perry went with the tribe to Washington, D.C., was at the lobby. Did this new committee meet and the citizens just missed the notice? Did you also meet with other affected parties before taking this trip, as in the Confederated Tribes or Douglas County, maybe the affected taxing districts? And if so, was this meeting published? Does this mean that the commissioners have now taken a position to support the tribe's proposal? And if an agreement has been reached, why was it not brought before the public for comment, as county council said it needed to happen? And finally, who funded the trip? And if it was the county, when did you commissioners authorize it?
Well, I can answer a couple of things. The committee of, you said, is county and tribe only, and it's not true. There's attorney Walt Hogan from Myrtle Point on the committee.
And I apologize for the way I worded that. I grouped him in this. I meant to state citizens of the county.
Right.
No other entities from outside of our county or from the taxing district.
He was the premier person that was talking about not doing the agreement, and I thought he would be the best to represent the people who were saying don't have an agreement. So he is on that committee. Number two is said transfer of ownership or management. Ownership was never talked about. It was only the management that was talked about. Do we support the proposal? There isn't a proposal yet that I know of at all. There was, I guess there's something in draft between the committee and the tribe. I had difficulty reading it, and I assume they're going to have many rewrites of this thing before it comes to the full board and the citizens.
So this committee has met?
I think they met once at least.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Isn't the committee still held to open meeting law? 192, 610 through 690? ORS 190, committee members, any more than two committee members? Or two members on a committee is required to meet an open meeting? Required, under ORS 192, 610 through 690.
I wasn't at the meeting, so I don't know how many people were there.
We met with Walt, we met with Ubone, we met with tribal members. It's a land negotiation, it's a management negotiation.
Under the ORS, it's very clear in ORS 192, 667, I believe. I apologize. That's the wrong one. That's
7 is elected officials.
That's fulfilling a position. So I won't go and put myself on the spot the exact paragraph, but those are required under open meeting law whenever a committee is formed, that those meetings be held in open session, open to the public. That's what that law was developed for. So,
County Council's been directly involved in any communication or meetings that we've had, and
she was one of the committee. I believe that she was one of the
assistant
committee
county
members.
assistant county council.
So that, I guess that means that then she officially violated that open meeting herself.
Well, that was what you're claiming. We don't know that.
Well, I mean, I can bring up the law, and evidently we have to, because we've gone through this before. This has become a common practice that these meetings are held.
Wouldn't characterize it as common.
These meetings are held in closed session and in direct violation of open meeting law. And your own admission here that this meeting happened is an admission that this meeting was held without public notice and without public involvement.
I'd have to look it up. I don't know.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, my understanding from County Council is that we were well within the law to do this, and we met with Walt Hogan, met with Brett Kenny. We've had small group meetings to be able to iron out language. I mean, it's my understanding that that's pretty common practice throughout the state of Oregon to be able to put a draft together so we could present it to the public.
We've had these discussions before, though, very recently. As a matter of fact, you held a session just before Mr. Main or Mr. Messerly was appointed, admitting that your meeting of that committee should not have retired to executive session.
Well,
and this is no different. It is a committee.
We're waiting on Ethics Commission's ruling on that.
But you commented on it yourself. You said you called it a technical difficulty. So, I mean, I won't belabor the point. I'm just saying that these are the things that we've had plenty of conversation about, and evidently it requires another. I don't know how many times we have to file these complaints before it's going to be the end of the month before somebody actually goes through and gives a training on open meeting law.
Well, for my part, Randy, as soon as I found out that we couldn't have a meeting like that, or we couldn't retire to discuss, because I hadn't been on the council that long, no excuse for, being a commissioner and not knowing. But as soon as I found out, I realized it was wrong, and I said it was wrong. I was very public about that,
So
and I said it would never happen again because I knew it. I didn't have a legal briefing, and I also made sure that that would never happen again, no matter who got appointed, because county went through an awful lot. We lost county council, and then we lost another commissioner right away, so I know there were extenuating circumstances for them not getting me my legal briefing, but I didn't have it until when Bobby, 4 weeks after that occurred.
Yeah.
And I said, that's never going to happen with anybody else again, because it's too difficult a position to put somebody in. But I was very honest and open about saying, through my understanding, after it was explained to me, it was wrong. And in our move to try and be completely transparent and try and do this the right way, we violated the law because we didn't do this correctly. So I don't know how to be any more clear about that, to say that was wrong and it would never happen again. I've said that publicly before. I'm saying it once again now. Now, as far as what you're talking about and trying to negotiate a deal, I mean, I guess if what you're saying is true, then you're going to have to file against this county for countless times. I mean, you have to take it back to the negotiations of the ORC lease. You're going to have to, those all occurred under executive session or privilege of executive session. So that's, you know, you're going to have to go way back.
Continue to happen?
No. I'm saying you're going to have to go way back, because when I was brought onto the commission, the first meeting I went to was executive session to discuss the ORC lease.
Was it with a committee?
No.
Then what is it that you're missing on this? When you meet in committee, it's very clear under ORS 192, 610 through 690 that when you form a committee is a body of government, and a body of government must meet with a quorum. When it meets in quorum, must meet in open session. And if...
Okay, you've made the point.
Okay.
It's your opinion.
I don't want to continue to file.
But it's your opinion. We don't have a legal opinion. It's just your opinion. I don't believe you're an attorney, right?
No, you have one here.
Doesn't matter. It's your opinion. You've made your point, so I think...
Very, very good. Can I then get some response to who funded the trip and who authorized it?
Who funded the trip?
Who funded the trip to Washington, D.C.?
Well, the tribe funded themselves.
The tribe funded themselves, we funded our end of it.
You funded, the county funded your end of the trip, and when was that voted on by the commission?
That would be out of his expenses. We don't vote on those.
It's out of my regular commission expenses. It's just like if I go to Salem or if I go anywhere else on behalf of the county.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
What else do we have to talk about?
I guess the only thing for Brett and I's concern is we're going to need a much more workable group to be able to get the minutia of this done. You may want to discuss how you're going to proceed with that insurance number.
Okay, I agree with that.
I don't know how you want to do that, if we want to put a committee together or how you want to establish that, but Brett and I are going to need a real good core group to get the minutia of the discussing done.
Imagine we could work on putting together some kind of outline or document and bring it back to each of our governing bodies.
Three each.
I mean, obviously the entire agreement memorandum is always going to be up for public comment and before it's adopted by all parties, both from the tribal community and from the county. So, but a working group to actually get something developed for adoption would be...
Just to develop an outline based on what we talked about today at the table.
I would think so.
So I would propose we have three each. Maybe on the county side, one commissioner, maybe Mr. Hogan, and I don't know who else.
I would think you'd want your forester or someone who could be on the management team involved in that.
Well, yeah. But he's got a lot to do. There's only two people.
Sure, maybe not Lance, but he's got to do it.
And we have a new assistant forester coming on the 18th, but he's not really up to speed on this other. So, and the tribe obviously can pick whoever they want, the three people. And
Well, I'd say 3 plus each side's council.
maybe.
Well, we got to do the work, so we'll be there.
Actually,
sometimes people.
We don't count people.
I keep forgetting that.
We're prisoners in this
but
stuff.
to not have a quorum, maybe council, one commissioner, and Mr. Hogan, and then 3 from the tribe, and that would be enough. Brett, George, and whoever else. The chair decide on their side. That would be enough. And then they would bring the proposal back.
I'm fine with that.
Okay? Let's do that then.
We leave to address where I am on working with the tribe is that there is nothing that we are working on that isn't completely public already. I mean, as far as our desire to share 50% of the proceeds, our desire to share 50% of the management, our desire that neither party own the land. And that is basically what we're working on now. And as far as my understanding from this board direction and my original intentions to move this forward per our 2008 resolution, I was instructed by the board to move forward with members of the tribe and a member of the public and county council to draft a memorandum of understanding that would be presented publicly to our public bodies. And our public bodies being this Board of Commission, the Public of Coos County, and the Tribal Council. And that's what we're working on doing. There's no quorum of any public body at these meetings. We're simply working on drafting a memorandum of understanding that will be presented to this body and the tribal governing body. And we're just working on that language. And once again, there's nothing in that agreement that the public isn't fully aware of already. I mean, we're just working out the basic language that surrounds what that memorandum would be. And you've seen what we're working on, Bob. You've seen, Fred, what we're working on. We're just trying to get it so it's very clear, very workable, and that would fit in the framework of federal legislation. So that's where we are. I was encouraged. I also